Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you came back for your next lesson where we will be talking about different supplies and learn how to do the purl stitch. I always carry my supplies in a little pouch. Then I know whenever I need anything, it is close at hand. Let's look at what you will need to make your knitting journey an enjoyable one. Except for our yarn and knitting needles, we will at some or another time need the following. We'll need a pair of scissors, a tape measure, some yarn needles, only one, it can be plastic or metal, it doesn't matter. We will need some stitch markers, a row counter, a stitch holder. And when you're going to do some advanced knitting, you'll also need something like this, which is a cable needle. So those are the things, most of the things that you need to have in your little pouch. Let's jump straight into our knitting. Last week we learned how to cast on stitches and do some knitting. This is how mine looked because I asked you to complete at least 10 rows. I hope you enjoyed the process. If you did go beyond your 10 rows, that's great. Today we learn the purl stitch. Let's grab your knitting, sit back and let's start. I just want to remind you that these stitches were all knit stitches, just plain knitting. So if you do any piece of knitting with only the knit stitch, we call that the garter stitch. Now the knit stitch on any pattern will be indicated with a K. So when you see K1, that means knit 1. Or K3, that means knit 3. Right? So this is your garter stitch. And now we are going to do our purl stitch. Now our purl stitch, remember the knit stitch, we inserted the needle in front of the stitch and to the bottom of the other needle. This time the wool will be on this side and we will insert the needle into the front of the stitch like that. Okay? Then you take your wool, wrap it around that needle, pull a loop through and take it off. Let's do it again. We insert to the front of the needle, wrap the wool around that needle, pull it through and take it off. Once more, we'll insert in front of the needle, wrap it around, pull through and take it off. So can do it one more time. Insert your needle, wrap the wool around that needle, pull a loop through and take it off. Make sure that your wool is not too tight so that you don't have difficulty inserting the needle into the next stitch. So now you can go ahead till the end of that row and I'll meet you there. Now you have your very last stitch on that needle. You insert, wrap around, pull through and take it off. So now we're going to do the next row. The next row is going to be a knit row. Like we did all the other rows here, we insert, wrap around, pull through and take it off. This time to the back and underneath the needle, wrap around, pull through. Now you know how to knit. Finish that row and I'll get you at the end of this row. So now you finish this row. This is how it looks on this side, and if you turn it over, you will see this is how it looks on this side. So my next row will be a purl row again. So let's do another purl row. I'm just going to start with it and then you can continue. You insert, wrap around, pull through and take it off. Insert, wrap around, pull through and take it off. So you continue to the end of that row and then you do another knit row. So there we finished that row. Now how can you count this row? These little V's, looks like little V's. This is my plain or knit stitches and the back side are my purl stitches. So we have finished now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of knit 1 row, purl 1 row. And we call that, when we knit 1 row and purl 1 row, we call that stocking stitch. And it is indicated with a S and a T, that is stocking stitch on a pattern. Right, so now I'm going to show you how to end off your work. You start by knitting 2 stitches, 1, 2. Then you take your first stitch and bring it over the second stitch that you knit. So now you have 1 stitch there again. So we insert and knit 1 more stitch. And we take that first stitch and bring it over the second stitch. And then we continue like that. You keep on knitting 1 stitch. So there are 2 stitches on this side. Take the first stitch that you knitted, bring it over the second stitch. And you continue like that. So you've reached the last stitch. Knit that one. Bring the first stitch over. Make sure that you don't slip the last stitch. Then you have a little loop. Just pull it a little. Then you're going to cut your yarn, not too short. So now you have that loop there. That is the last stitch. You take the yarn that you've cut, push it through there from underneath and pull that yarn through. And there you have your little example of how to do garter stitch and stocking stitch. But now, if you look at these pieces of thread hanging here, when you buy a jersey or anything from the shop, you will not find loose ends hanging. So now we have to sew these threads that's hanging here, these loose ends. We need to sew that away. And now I'm going to show you what you do. I take my yarn needle and I pull my yarn through. You see all these bubbles here, like by the side. You take your thread and you pick up a bubble and another one and another one and another one. Say like 4 or 5, and you pull your yarn through. Make sure that this is not too tight. You don't pull it so tight that it's just loosely there. And now you can cut your yarn. And now you go and do the same on this side. Okay? So that brings us to the end of this week's lesson. I had a great time teaching you, and I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me too. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like this video and subscribe so that you don't miss one lesson. Next week, we'll be knitting this mug holder, and it will be our first project together. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Until then, happy knitting!